Welcome back, everyone, for more Santa Lucia. So, last time, things got pretty real. Carlos had to go see his brother at the hospital, and where they finally let out their grievances towards each other, and why they're in this feud in the first place. And a reveal that Carlos himself likes men. So, yeah, and I think last episode really got to me, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm really curious to see where this route continues to go, so I'm really excited to see. So, let's continue, everyone. It's quarter to 1 and most of the class is already here. Which isn't saying much, as the people in attendance are few, relatively speaking. Our initial head count was a little over 20. And that's including the people who showed up once and never came back. It's something I've seen happen more often than I expected, given how expensive university is. The scratching of Carlos's pen flying across his sketchbook draws my attention to him. Class hasn't even started, and he's already on fire. Also, this is a kind of nice redesign. I know he's a studious type, but this goes well beyond that. Is drawing a newfound passion for him? I crane my neck, sneaking a peek past his shoulder. Looks like he's sketching some of our classmates, and the likeness is honestly surprising. The drawings themselves are rough around the edges, but there's a lot of confidence in his lines. Can I help you with something? Guess I'm not as sneaky as I thought. Ugh, busted. The tiger raises his head, clearly amused at my predicament. It's hard to focus when I can hear your spine stretching all the way from over here. I didn't want to bother you. Is it wrong of me to worry about my friend's personal space? I feign offense, knowing full well this isn't a real issue. By now, Carlos and I have learned how to be around each other for the most part. The man will never admit it, but I think he likes it when I fawn over his art. If you want to see my work, all you have to do is ask. Isn't that the point of our competition? Yeah, sure. Competition he's crushing me at. Ugh, make me feel like I'm not putting in enough work. You said it, not me. He smirks as he goes back to his sketch. I roll my eyes at his snide insinuation. I'm totally a hard worker. Hard workers just need breaks is all. It's only been a couple of days since we went to see his brother. We haven't had a chance to talk much since then. Aside from when I had him sign off on the article I wrote about his aunt. I'm not too bothered by that, honestly. With Carlos, some days are quieter than others, but that doesn't mean anything's wrong. It does feel weird that we both came out to see each other that night, though. He hasn't brought it up at all, and I don't know if it's my place to do so either. I wish I could ask where we stand on the matter. Just because we both happen to be gay doesn't mean we have to date or anything like that. We're just two good friends who happen to share the same orientation. I won't deny that my imagination's been working overtime since then. A cute, grumpy guy like him. There's quite a few things I'd like to do. The clicking of heels on linoleum pulled me away from my dirty thoughts. Dr. Shinoda's making her way through the room, everyone having fallen silent. I glance at the clock on the wall. Right on time, as always. Hello, everyone. It's good to see that you've all made it today. Will we do something a bit different this time around? Over the course of the previous weeks, we've worked on different types of studies. Gesture drawings, portraits, still lifes. This time, This time we are going to put those skills into application. Art is often seen as an individual pursuit, rather it be of mastery or expression. Many artists find their life goal to be having their work exhibited in art galleries or museums. As individuals, we often forget about what others may bring into our art when we work together towards a single vision. I'd like to challenge the concept of art being a solitary experience with a group project. A collective moan erupts from the rest of the class. Carlos in particular seems very unhappy with this turn of events. Yeah, he always says he hates group projects. We share an understanding shrug. Dr. Shinoda waits for the groaning to subside, a pursed smile on her lips. I know. Since everyone's here today, you'll all be splitting into groups of 3. I wasn't complaining earlier, but the idea of having a third wheel now kind of puts a damper on the whole thing. Carlos furrows his brow even further. I'll explain the assignment once everyone's in the group. There's a racket of chairs squeaking and grinding across the floor as people drag themselves off their desks in search of group members. Carlos scoots over to my side, his gaze darting around the room. I don't know anyone else here. He turns to face me, an expression stifled concern in his eyes. Me neither. I'd rather just be you and me, but... He lets out a sigh, and a bit of Spanish slips through. After hanging out with him for so long, it's easy to forget how introverted he is. The clamor eventually subsides, and everyone else seems to have found a group. Hope rises within my chest. Oh, there's only 2 of you? Only for it to be crushed when Dr. Shinoda approaches us. Yes, just the 2. Just us 2. Perfect, then she can join you for this assignment. The professor motions a student still sitting at her desk behind her. I'm ashamed to say I don't recognize her at all. Not like I know anyone but Carlos here personally, but still. I do recognize some of them. Dr. Shinoda walks back to her desk as the student gathers her belongings and moves over to our table. The small red panda sitting at the other side of our table may as well be a phantom. Judging by Carlos's stonewall of an expression, I think he's feeling the same way as I am. Hello. Hey. Hello. A heavy silence falls between us, anchoring everything to the awkwardness of the situation. Knowing Carlos, he'll have trouble breaking the ice on his own. So, I guess it's up to me then. So, our half-hearted attempts at communication collide, leaving us stammering. Alright, now that you're all settled in, I'd like to get everyone's attention one last time. This assignment will be both familiar and unusual. Like some of our previous assignments, I'll provide a topic for you to work on. How you handle this topic will be completely up to your groups. Individual skill will not be graded as heavily this time around. Carlos bristles at Dr. Shinoda's words. Instead, I like to focus your efforts on finding a way to work as a group toward a common goal. What I'm looking for is synergy. People will work together to find each other's work stronger than they would be on their own. You can do things like making a collage of your drawings, or you can all work on a single large piece. It's up to you to decide how your artwork will harmonize or contrast with each other. Think about things like what mediums you use, styles, colors, or the lack of thereof. What matters here is the artistic intent, not the objective quality. The assignment will be due on Tuesday next week. A brief silence after Dr. Shinoda finished speaking, only for it to be overtaken by hushed voices. Seems like no one else is having the issue we're having right now. Our three-way standoff continues as we do our best to avoid each other's gazes. I usually wouldn't fail an introduction this bad, but she seems just as shy as the tiger. My name is Carlos. To my surprise, Carlos is the first to take a hammer to the ice between us. The diminutive red panda almost seems to shudder at Carlos's hushed growl of a voice. Mine's Ben. She nods her head before speaking up. I'm Sierra. That's a pretty name. The girl casts her eyes downward. Sorry to be such a bother. What for? She raises her chin back up. You seem like friends, and I don't really know anyone here, so... I see. She's feeling the same way as us. But at least Carlos and I have each other. I feel bad for her. Being the only one without a group until the last moment must sting. Excuse me. It's alright. We're not bothered. Don't worry. Carlos's gentle reassurance seems to work as Sierra's lips curl up a bit. He's making a genuine effort here. I'm proud of him. And maybe a little attracted to him too. Thank you. She's about to say something else when Dr. Shinoda appears with a sheet of paper in her hands. Would you please write down your names for me? She places the paper in front of Sierra. As for your group, your topic will be nature drawings. Carlos hands the sheet to me. A quick glance reveals several entries for each group. Group 4, Sierra Martinez, Carlos Delgado. Figures both of them would have nice handwriting. I jot down my name in the best cursive I can muster before handing the page back to Dr. Shinoda. Thank you, and good luck on your assignment. Feel free to begin working on it at your leisure. The professor takes her leave, and the three of us are left to our own devices. So our topic is nature, huh? I wish I could say that's my forte, but I don't think I have any when it comes to arts. I prefer drawing figures. I'm not sure what my strengths are, either. This class is the first time I've ever drawn seriously. Oh, really? That sounds like what happened to us, actually. Carlos and I took up drawing together at the same time. We're in the same mentorship group, so we've had a lot of time to talk about it between us. I think it's turned out pretty well so far. Carlos side-eyes me with an amused smirk on his lips. You thought it would be easy credit. I'm putting in the work. I swear I'm trying, okay? Jeez. You are doing well enough, yes. Anyway, I'm not sure what to do for this assignment. Like, what the heck is even a collage? Carlos massages his temple, thinking about what I said. I think it's when you take different things, like photos or fabric, and stick them on a piece of paper. I think. I don't have anything on me that prints pictures. She did mention that our work needs to be nature drawings, but just drawing some flowers and sticking them on a piece of paper feels a bit lazy. It doesn't have to be just flowers. Nature's a broad topic. Maybe you could draw animals too. Have you drawn those before? Is that a hint of competitiveness I detect in his voice? Sierra takes a moment to think before replying bashfully. Not well. We shouldn't take too long to decide what to do. I'm not sure staying here will give us much in the way of inspiration. I rest my head against my fist for a moment while I consider some options. We could try going down to the beach. Or how about the Bavarian Gardens? Shouldn't be too crowded at this hour. Plus, it's not that far from here. It is true. You only have to cross the bridge and we're there. Will Dr. Shinoda be okay with that, though? She said that we are free to start working on the assignment at our leisure. Doesn't sound like she has much else for us right now. As long as we're back before class ends, I don't see what the problem would be. Sarah nods sheepishly. She definitely doesn't seem like the kind that likes to rock the boat. I'll tell the professor. Thanks. Carlos gets up from his seat, leaving me and Sierra alone. I rack my brain trying to find a way to prevent another awkward silence. So, are you enjoying class? I am. Art is really fun to get into. I just wish I were better at it. That's why I'm studying. Yeah, that's how I am too. Just gotta practice. I'm sure it'll come to you fast. Before we have a chance to continue, Carlos comes back with an answer. We can go as long as we make it before class ends. Cool. Oh, whoops. Let's go back to history real quick. Cool. Pretty much what I figured. I stuck my tools in my backpack before slinging it over my shoulder. We better hurry then. The others follow suit, and we step out of the quiet classroom. It doesn't take long to reach the gardens. Maintaining an active conversation between my two introverted group members has proven to be a challenge of sort. I'm thankful that the walk here was mercifully short. Now that we're in the main central area, I point out an isolated bench that offers a good view of the sprawl. We take in the sights and sounds, as well as the exotic smells coming from the greenery. So, any ideas on what we should do? I turn to the others, who have already pulled out their drawing supplies. I was thinking we could draw what we see. I don't think that qualifies as working as a group. Do you need to hold my pencil for it to count as teamwork? I don't think that's necessary. But it wouldn't be unwelcome either. I have an idea, but I'm not sure how good it is. Lay it on us. Her shy demeanor reminds me of Zach. Although getting anything out of him in the first few days was a lot harder. What if we all worked on different parts of the same scene? We could take a picture, then divide it into 3 parts. Each of us works on their side until we bring it all together. Carlos ruminates on the idea for a moment. The idea makes sense. But maybe it's too obvious? Dr. Shinoda takes her work very seriously, but she knows we are beginners. The execution won't matter as long as the thought put into it. There's thought put into it. Maybe we should make it clear who is drawing what. Like signing it? He shakes his head. That is lazy. Well... Do either of you guys use color? Huh? I don't think we broached that topic in class yet. Not really, apart from the color pencils I used as a kid. I used to color using pastels. It was only to paint cute animals in my poetry book for a class in middle school, though. So it's been a while. I still remember a few things, even if I wasn't very good at it. She blushes as she continues talking. How about you, Carlos? I'm sure I already know the answer. He's been focusing so much on his sketches, he hasn't been taking the time to learn how to color. I can use watercolors. What? Wait, since when? His ears fold back as he looks away. It's been a couple of weeks. But why didn't you tell me? I don't know why I'm so offended by this. Is it because he's trying to get a leg up on me in our competition? Or is it because he didn't see me fit to let me know? It's probably both. Because... thought watercolors were... He whispered the last bit with a faint voice, as if he's putting into words an unspeakable secret. Carlos seems to understand my confusion, so he leans in closer to my ear. I thought the watercolors were too... gay. I can't help but chortle as laughter erupts from my mouth. His expression is a mix of embarrassment and annoyance. I never know what to expect with this guy. Sierra looks at us puzzled. Guess I'll have to work hard to make up for that. I'd love to tease the guy about it, but we don't have time for that. But I don't think he'd appreciate it with Sierra around. Well, that settles it. I'll try to use colored pencils, Sierra will use her pastels, and Carlos can work with watercolors. Are you okay with that, Carlos? Carlos tenses up. I don't think he's ready to explain things to her just yet. Don't worry about Sierra. You may not look the part, but Carlos here is the star student in class. I see his cheeks turn a vivid red for a second. Well, what does that mean? I don't look the part. I roll my eyes. Of course you'd focus on that part. Sorry, big guy, but it's better this way. Oh, is that true? I don't know about being the star student, but Dr. Shinoda has been giving me high grades. His tone betrays a hint of pride beneath the layers of unease. Sierra hops down from the bench, visibly excited. That's so cool. Do you think you could give me some advice? I've been struggling with gesture drawing since we started. Oh, and I'd love to see your work too. If you don't mind, of course. Sudden burst of uncharacteristic energy takes us both by surprise. I don't know how much help I can be. Sierra's outburst fades as quickly as it came, and now she looks almost as mortified as Carlos. Sorry, I hope I didn't come on too strong. That's alright, but I don't think I'm as good as Ben says. I give him a nudge with my elbow. Hey, have some faith in yourself, man. You've been killing it lately at this art thing. He rubs the back of his neck, a glint of confidence in his eyes. I suppose I could help, yeah. I'm not a professional, but I can show you how I practice. Sierra sits back down, seemingly content. Thank you, I'd appreciate it. Looks like I managed to get a discussion going between the both of them. can't lie, I'm proud I managed to break the ice like that. A sudden spark of brilliance flashes through my mind. This gives me an idea. Maybe we've been looking at this all wrong. My eureka moment draws their attention. We're so focused on the work part of teamwork, we didn't even consider the team. Shouldn't we start by looking at each other's pieces? The idea seems to resonate with them as they nod in unison. That makes a lot of sense. I can't believe I didn't think of that. I reach into my bag and pull out my sketchbook, then hand it to Sierra. Here, take a look. Carlos and I have already seen each other's work, but we're not familiar with yours. And here's mine. The tiger trades his sketchbook for the red pandas, wasting no time opening it. I get a closer look to get a better look at Sierra's work. The first thing that catches my attention is the staggering amount of color. I kind of stuck to just using pencils, but compared to mine, her sketches explode with life. The second thing of note is that, contrary to Carlos, she doesn't seem too interested in figures or people. A majority of the art on display here is composed of still lifes, nature drawings, and some various animals. It's a very different skill set from what Carlos and I are working on. Carlos nods along as he flips through the pages, clearly enthralled. Sierra does the same, thumbing through both of our sketchbooks with great interest. The silence draws on for a couple of minutes. This is very impressive. She looks up in surprise. Do you think so? Yes. It makes me realize how much I've neglected colors. Your art is very eye-catching and pleasant. Yeah, it's hard to believe we all started at around the same time. Oh, thanks, guys. I'm just trying stuff out to see what sticks. Most of it doesn't turn out too well, really. I wish I had your talent when it comes to drawing people, Carlos. Anyone can do it. I've just been studying people a lot. I'd say you're a natural at it. He turns away from me, hiding the faint blush betraying his embarrassment. Thanks. And I really like the way you do shading, Ben. You do? I looked up a few videos on it. I don't even remember what this technique is called. Cross-hatching. I snap my fingers in affirmation. Yeah, that's it. I can't get mine to look right at all when I use pencils. Everything always ends up looking bland and mushy. I'll show you how I learned to do it later if you want. I'm sure you'll learn quicker than I did. Actually, I can feel another wave of inspiration coming on. Damn, I'm on a roll today. Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? Probably not. It was a rhetorical question. Why did you pause then? Gah! Sierra chuckles at Carlos's dry wit. Well, I give the tiger the meanest look I can muster before continuing. Like I was saying, we've all practiced very different things. Why not make that the theme of our collage? So like, the different disciplines we're learning? Yeah, something like that. I like the idea. Maybe we could all work on the same piece, adding different elements depending on the person. I think that would be too time-consuming. It'll feel forced. He thinks on it for a moment. We could work on the same subject, but from different angles. Sierra, yours could be a pastel sketch. Ben, yours could be a penciled sketch. What about you? He scratches his chin deep in thought. I'm not sure. Oh, I got it. A sudden exclamation coming from Sierra startles the both of us. For a girl that's usually so quiet, she can get surprisingly loud. Sorry. Why don't you draw the both of us working on our drawings? You think that works with the theme still? It's another angle, technically. I like it. Sounds like something I can do. I rub my hands together in anticipation. Then I think we got a plan. We should get to work before it's too late. What time is it? It's almost 3. What? We all share a confused look for a few seconds before the realization sets in. Scrambling to gather all our belongings, we rush to class as fast as we can. Thankfully, we managed to squeak by at the last minute. As Dr. Shinoda finishes up the class, I see the other two still struggling to catch their breath. I feel bad for them. I really do. But seeing Carlos panic about a few minutes of class was pretty priceless. I can't lie to myself here. Seeing him panting and sweating like that really does do something for me. We're ushered out of the room by the professor soon after in order to make way for the next group. Carlos and I find ourselves alone once more after Sierra hurries out of the building on our way to our next class. Not before making sure she wished us a good rest of the day, of course. I'm glad we're managing to get along well. I was worried the whole group would really bum Carlos out, but it looks like he took it quite well. We make our way outside not long after and find a nice place in the shade to sit down. Since there's nowhere we need to be, we've gotten into the habit of working on our sketchbooks together after class. Maybe now could be my chance to bring up some things. So, yes. I would like to talk about what happened on Tuesday, if you don't mind. He stiffens up almost immediately. His lack of any acknowledgement makes this harder to talk about than I thought it would be. I've been meaning to ask. Are you doing okay? The tension in his shoulders seems to dissipate as he replies. I'm doing better. Thank you for being there. No problem. I'm sorry things didn't go as well as I hoped. He shakes his head. And it's not your fault. It went better than I expected myself. I'm still not sure what happened in that hospital room. From the little I could gather, the conversation turned sour right away, and his brother said some really hurtful things. If that's better than he expected, I can't imagine what it was he did expect. Andreas will be alright. He was lively enough when I saw him. Didn't waste a second getting up to talk to me, in fact. I think this is what we needed. Something big and scary. I'm not sure if I would have ever spoken to him again otherwise. I listened to Carlos intently. Poor guy's been carrying a lot of stress. I'm glad I can be there for him. And I think this is what is it called again? When real life hits you in the face. I cocked my head in confusion. A gut punch? No, that's not it. Do you mean a reality check? He nods in agreement. I'm glad that I could find the words he couldn't. And that's it. A reality check. This was the reality check Andreas needed. It might sound strange, but I think this was for the best. Yeah, I understand. Sometimes you need a nice hard kick in the ass. Exactly. His smile is warm and friendly. I think I can bring up the other topic that's on my mind. There's something we talked about in the car. I'd prefer it if we didn't talk about that. I'm taken aback by the sudden shift in mood. His smile has faded, leaving no trace behind. My heart plummets to the depth of my stomach when I notice the grave expression on his face. Would you mind forgetting what I said then? Seriously? Carlos, I don't think repressing that is healthy for you. I'm not repressing anything. Just, can we drop the topic? My heart has jumped up all the way to my throat, and I can't find the words to explain what I want. No, need to tell him. Instead, I find myself looking away and nodding. Okay. Thank you. The silence that follows is like my own personal reality check, crushing any potential ideas that had been, gestating in my mind since that day. By now, I know Carlos enough that I'm aware pushing past his comfort zone won't lead to anything good. There's nothing to do but wait until he brings it up himself. Everything has to be on his terms, and his terms alone. I let out a long sigh in my mind. I hope he doesn't wait forever until that time. Eventually the silence was broken by one of us. I'm not sure which. Our usual conversation started again as if nothing happened. When we parted ways at the dorm, I could notice his shoulders slumping. I really wanted to give him a hug right there and then, but I knew he wouldn't be willing to accept it. Not yet. Yo, Ben! A tall, muscular panda separates from the crowd and makes his way towards me. Happy I found someone I recognize. I breathe a sigh of relief. Hey, Brian. How's it going? Just got back from a away game late last night. I only managed to get a few hours of sleep before my RA knocked on the door. Man, all I want to do is play football, but all this campus stuff is running me ragged. Any idea what this is all about? Just that we all need to be here for it. Well, the timing seems to line up. Did you hear about what happened yesterday? No, I was in Sacramento. Something bad happened? There was a woman who got killed during the marathon Karina and I were running in. Another? Man, my mom's gonna have a panic attack when she hears about this. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I scratch behind my ear and look away. I even talked to her a bit on the run. To what? Nod my head. A repeat of what happened in Cambrian Valley, that's for sure. You think the meeting is about that? I pause for a second, then nod my head. That's my hunch. What are the police doing? Can't be that hard to catch a murderer, right? I don't know, man. Eventually the two of us were able to push our way through the crowd and not into the lounge. It didn't take that long before it holds a surprisingly large amount of people. Looks like they opened the glass doors leading to the courtyard, too. I would appreciate it if you could keep it to yourself. For once. Brian gives Carlos the side eye. Carlos, still as frigid as an iceberg. He turns to the tiger and puts on a big grin. You really have to lighten up, bro. You treat college like it's a deathly serious obligation. Brian pats Carlos on the back, which seems to genuinely catch the tiger off guard. I don't understand your logic, Brian. You're so flippant with your studies. Aren't you scared you're gonna fail a class? Nah, I take time. I take things as they come. Brian shrugs his shoulders. I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone. Top the class or not, as long as I pass, it's good enough for me. There's more to life than good grades, you know. I see. I think I understand where Brian's coming from. But I also think he might also be underestimating how challenging certain degrees are to get. Can't imagine Carlos or Zach having an easy time with how accelerated their programs are. Have you ever even been laid yet, dude? Monday? Come on, you said you knew what I meant earlier. Don't play dumb. It's none of your business. Jesus Christ, what kind of question is that? Do you have no shame, Panda? Brian puts his hand up and takes a step back. Alright. No need to get testy. I will say this, though. If the opportunity arises, I think you should take it. No sense in wasting the chance to feel what it's like to be intimate with someone. Who knows? Maybe it'll help you chill out a bit. With that, Brian turns around and joins the conversation between Shay and Zach. The tiger goes quiet and folds his arms. Looks like Brian left him with a lot to think about, huh? I think that's about it for today. Make sure you have that short story read before lecture on Wednesday. Also, thank you again, Bennett, for... Thank you again, Ben, for bringing those copies for this month's school newspaper. Make sure you have that short story read before lecture on Wednesday. Oh. Whoops, my bad. This is so exciting. My little Benny boy's first steps to becoming a journalist. Hey, lay it on the thick here, don't you think? Can't wait to read it later. What page did it say your article was on? It's towards the back. I think it was page 19. Ben's not the only one with an article, you know. What's yours about, then? Rush Week, baby! I'm in the school events section a couple pages in. Professor Dubois gave me a high grade for it. I'm pretty proud. I'll admit, his article was a lot better written than I was expecting. What's yours about again, Ben? I instinctively look over at the tiger for approval. What is the matter, Ben? Is it okay if I tell them? You wrote it. It's in the paper. It doesn't matter at this point. They'll see it anyway. That's true. Feeling reassured, I return my attention to the others. I had to interview an alumni from USL, so I chose Carlos's aunt. You did? That's so cool! The Aussie wastes no time and starts thumbing through his copy of the paper, presumably to try and find my article. Aw, that's nice. Did she have anything to say that stood out to you? Well, basically she pointed out that grades are only half of the equation in college. You need to get out there and make connections with people if you truly want to be successful after you graduate. I feel like that's something I've been told before. Makes sense to me. She shrugs her shoulders and smiles. Making connections, huh? That shouldn't be hard for any of us, right? We're all outgoing, sociable people. Well, all of us except for Dr. Grump over here. Oh boy, here we go again. I swear Brian pushes Carlos's buttons because he likes these mini conflicts they have. I suppose I could try being more social. Do what? Huh? Thanks, Brian. Who are you, and what have you done with Carlos? My aunt is a wise woman. She wouldn't suggest something if she didn't know it works. If she thinks networking is important, then I will try my best to do so. Well, I'll be damned. The tiger's actually chill for once. I have plenty of chill, and you just never noticed. Not gonna lie, you're kinda hot when you're being agreeable. For some reason, I feel a spark of adrenaline at his words. Can't help but interject. Alright, Brian, knock it off. We know you're just trying to get under his skin, and it's not working. But yeah, what Ben said. Relax, I'm not mad. I am not mad. Huh? I'll admit, seeing Carlos act this way is pretty jarring for me, too. Wonder if this has anything to do with what his brother told him. I do not want to be a buzzkill, but class has been dismissed for the past 5 minutes. We need to clear out soon. There's another class that has this room at the top of the hour. Alright. I've got things I need to do anyway. Same. See you later, my lovelies. Nate fans his fingers at us while tossing his backpack over his shoulders. Bye, guys. While the other two head out the door, the rest of us take our time. So, how was October for you so far? It's still hot. I can barely tell the difference. Yeah, Californian summers last pretty long. You would not be able to handle the weather in the valley. We at least get a nice sea breeze here. Where I'm from, temperatures are regularly in the hundreds until November. Jesus Christ, the hottest heat waves I've ever dealt with were still in the double digits. I didn't realize California was such a desert. That's why people prefer to live by the coast if they can afford it. Makes me wish I was back home in Denver. We should start heading out soon. Right. Alright, so I'm going to save it here because obviously I just need to find a good spot because unfortunately we already did a lot of the stuff that happened on the 29th and the 30th, so I didn't really bother with those days too much. I'm going to edit it and probably like change it so that way like I kind of keep everyone up to speed with what you guys missed. Because obviously I did do the day with Chris at the track and the marathon, and obviously like we already went over the fact that the woman was murdered there, so I just didn't want to like be too redundant, you know. But yeah, no, now we have Sierra with us. She seems pretty awesome. She's like friend-shaped as hell, so that's always good. I really hope... I do agree with Ben. I do hope that him and Carlos are able to really have a real discussion, because like it's kind of obvious he really feels deep shame about, you know, being gay, and stuff like that always gets to me, you know? Oh my gosh. But I am kind of excited to see where this goes. I know we're right about to the point of the second major event in the story, so I'm kind of excited for that. I'm hoping we can get through that sooner than later. So yeah, next time we'll continue Carlos's route, and then we get to the second major event in the story. So until then, everyone, see you all next time. Bye.